All right. I think I fixed everything. Hello, everyone. So this is my first stream. That's why I'm still trying to get everything ready and make sure that everything is working fine. So let's check that. I'm gonna check both YouTube as well as Twitch. Yep. So I stream on both websites, YouTube and Twitch. And let's check that. Yep. Seems to be working. Yeah. Great. We can get started. So hello everyone. Today we're going to be talking about the Firefox Profiler. So this is going to be my first stream about the whole series, hopefully, that I will do in the future. So it's called Idle Callback. So to just give you some context, I'm Nazim John, and I work on the Firefox Profiler at Mozilla. And yeah, I wanted to just give you some streams, and I want to give you the context behind the name Idle Callback 2. But let me check if my voice is going correctly. Oh, okay, that's great. So my voice is working, my video is fine, hopefully. And if you have any questions, please ask in either YouTube or Twitch chats, and I'm gonna be able to see them and hopefully respond to you quickly. All right, so Idle Callback. So the name of the live series or the streams are coming from the request idle callback. So if you wanna like see the behind the story behind this, it's coming from this web API called request idle callback, and it says the request idle callback method queues a function to be called during a browser's idle periods. This enables developers to perform background tasks and low priority work on the main thread without impacting the latency critical events such as animation and input response. So I was thinking about the name, and this actually fits perfectly because one, I work on Firefox Profiler, and I sometimes want to work on smaller tasks that require less time, but also they are sometimes very important, like say they are very critical, and I would like to work on them, but because of the bigger tasks, always they're on the background. They are waiting for me to actually allocate some time and work on. And then I thought, yeah, that fits perfectly because in these stream sessions, I wanted to allocate some space, some time for myself, so I can actually work on these smaller issues and talk to you, engage with you, and build a community if I can. But it also has another meaning, right? Like idle callback can be perceived from your side too. Like, because probably you're watching this if you are on your idle time. And I guess I'm requesting an idle callback from you, and then in your idle time, you're actually watching this and engaging with me at the same time. So that's the story behind it. Unfortunately, Safari doesn't support this web API actually, or it does. There is a bug. I checked it before, so it was fixed and then reopened because apparently there were some like performance regressions. So they implemented it actually, but it's just disabled right now. And I think it in the technology preview version of Safari, they do have this enabled, but not in release. So yeah, this is the story behind the name of the series, and yeah, it can change later. I don't know if that's gonna stay this way, but yeah, I thought this fits perfectly for this series. And yeah, I'm not going to get into the details of this request idle callback too much, but I guess in DevTools, like you can test it, like you can check that, oh yeah, this function exists, and it can take a callback function, like you can do some, like you can do, or console log, let's say that we have, actually we can just remove this and print whatever parameter it takes, and yeah, it actually takes a parameter and it's called idle deadline, and it tells you if it timed out or not. So because we are already idle in this website, it actually timed out immediately. No, so it didn't time out, and it just fired immediately. But yeah, so this is the story behind it, and in these streams, I want to actually talk about the Firefox Profiler, because this is my day-to-day work. I work on the Firefox Profiler, both front-end and back-end. But let's think about the name, or let's talk about what it is first. So the Firefox Profiler is a tool that helps you analyze performance issues, and it also helps you debug some interesting problems that are not easily reproducible at the same time. So it is a tool that shows you the runtime of your either website or of Firefox or any other binaries or the programs that you run through other importers. So Firefox Profiler is, the front end is a website. It's in profiler.firefox.com. And if it's the first time you are actually seeing this website in Firefox, you will see this. There's a button that says Enable Firefox Profiler menu button. Once you click in Firefox, a new pop-up will appear at the top right corner. And then this is the recording pop-up of the Firefox Profiler. And now you can start recording by clicking on this button, or there's a shortcut here that says like Control-Shift-1. And once you start, you can click one more time with Control-Shift-2 that will let you capture. And once you capture the website or the runtime of your application, so that includes the whole internals of Firefox as well as your website. And you can see like I have youtube.com, Restream.io for my work, like parent process, and then like these are the screenshots that we have. Like I have 2 screens right now. So, and you can see like call tree, this is all the functions that is being sampled. So what is a sample? So Firefox Profiler is a sampling profiler. By default, it means that it stops the execution of your program every 1 millisecond or every determined interval, and it captures the backtrace of every threads that are registered or that are configured. And then it tells you what are being executed. Like we aggregate all these samples eventually, and we create call tree, flame graph, and stack chart for you. So call tree is like the text representation of the samples, and flame graph and stack chart are the visual representations. But what is the difference between flame graph and stack chart then? Because like they look similar. Actually, let me zoom in a little bit because it can be a bit difficult to see. And yeah, so I think this is better now. So, let's do it like this. So flame graph is like a bottom up. Ooh, it's because of the zooming. Now the tooltips are quite large. But so as you can see, it starts from the bottom and goes up. And stack chart starts from the top and then goes down. But that's not the only difference. The biggest difference is that in flame graph, we actually aggregate each sample and we just merge them all together. So the x-axis here actually doesn't mean anything. Like let's remove this part so that this is a bit more exciting now with more stuff happening. So x-axis you see in this graph, it doesn't actually mean anything. But if you look at the stack chart, you will see, let's not drop it, you will see that like the boxes are actually smaller. This is because the x-axis of the stack chart is time. So you can see that block until next event matching list in mode with filter. This function is actually starting from here until here. So we know that because, or through, again, this is a sampling profiler, so we don't actually know 100%, but we aggregated it and we think that it runs from here until here. And then there are different functions that are being called by that. And you can see that, for example, this function is called first. And then if you go right, this function is called again. So the same function is being called again one more time. So this is the biggest difference between two. And apart from samples, we have three more tabs here. But also, let me tell you a bit more about the timeline. So this is the timeline where you get the overview of everything, right? So you see like some small activities. Every color means a different type of category, like green means graphics and purple means layout. So layout activity is happening around here, and then right after, some graphics activity is happening. So it's a perfect place where you can actually see what type of events are happening, and it's to get an overview of what is happening. And after seeing the overview, actually you go down, you look at the bottom panels for more information, for seeing more stuff. And like you can see more websites in this profile, as well as you can actually like upload the local profile. Also, let me tell you that like there is a documentation that you can see. So this is the user guide that we have in Firefox Profiler. You can learn more stuff if you want. So again, since this is the first session that I'm having, I wanted to explain a bit the Firefox Profiler, but it's very unscripted. Like I'm just saying everything without thinking a lot, and I might actually skip some parts. I might forget. So this is the place you should look first to see how to use the Firefox Profiler. And yeah, like for example, I did like zoom in an area. I zoomed in by clicking on the magnifier icon, and I can zoom like multiple times, and then you can go back in these breadcrumbs later on. And yeah, so the markers are a bit different. So these three tabs are for markers. This is a different data structure or data type that we have inside Firefox Profiler. The first three were about sampling, and these three are more some special annotations that we add inside Firefox. And they are a lot more precise because we, for example, like this screenshot marker actually shows, it has a start time and an end time. So it's not like statistical like the sampling profiling. So it is actually like tracing, because we have a start and we have an end, and we exactly know when it happened. And similarly on other things, like for example, like these DOM events are so small to capture by sampling, but we can actually see them inside the markers. And we have a lot of them. Some of them are like DOM events are related to your website, and some of them are more like Firefox internals, like Surface Pool, for example, View Manager Flush. So, and the difference between sampling and this also is that we have more information. Like we add extra information. Like for example, we added the image itself as well as window size. So you can see the window size. We have a description, and you can see other things like like network related stuff are happening, and awake markers, like you can see CPU time, quality of service, and things like that. So, and these diamond shaped ones are instant markers. So they don't have a start and end, they only have a time where it exactly happened. And again, yeah, we have some extra data. So this is the Firefox Profiler. We have a lot more things to cover here. Like this is the table version of the exact same data. And this is the network version, the network markers specifically. You can see which network requests are being sent. Okay, so this is the whole UI. Like you can do a bunch of more stuff. Like you can like focus on youtube.com, or you can see all tabs. Like you can this actually like filters by tabs. And we have like profile info, we have like when it started, the length, interval, and things like that. So this is the Firefox Profiler. And yeah, I feel like I explained a little bit. So we can, if you have any questions, please let me know. But yeah, let me look at the messages. Yeah, there is some hand waving, great. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, another thing I wanted to do in this stream is that, so like I mentioned, I want to work on like smaller tasks. So I actually like added some of the tasks here that I wanted to work on. Like I picked 3 of them for now. I don't know how long they're gonna take, or if we're gonna be able to go through all of them. So I think that I can just work on this for like 1 or 2 hours, or whenever I feel tired, maybe I can stop. But still, this is the idea. Like I want to be able to work on these small things in this session, maybe first 2, and then if we have time as a stretch goal, we can work on this on the 3rd one. So yeah, this is the Firefox Profiler. And like I said, so this is the front end of the Firefox Profiler, but we have the back end inside Firefox also. Like this is inside Firefox. And this is the recording panel, and you can go edit settings. This is the profiler settings that we have. Like you can choose web developer preset or nightly, like because I'm using Firefox nightly, but it's like the default preset. And we have graphics, media, machine learning, networking, power, and debug. This is a lot more verbose, and it has more stuff because it captures everything basically. But not nightly or the Firefox or web developer preset, these 2 should be enough, right? Most of the time, because like media and graphics, they're a bit more specialized for these specific teams inside Firefox. Yeah, so this is it. Let me look at my messages quickly. Yeah, and are there any messages? No. So first thing I wanted to work on, so like I mentioned, we have some markers, and so we also have some markers for garbage collection, and I'm gonna show you in a bit. But the data that we add inside those markers are a bit broken, because we see some object in the value side of some labels. So let's go to the bug first. I'm gonna put this bug here. So this is the bug. GC major markers have a broken field that always displays object, and I just filed it in a bit of in a while ago. It says GC timings equals object. So I didn't really like investigate this a lot. I wanted to investigate everything or most things in here in this session, so you can see like how I work on usually, right? So we need to figure out basically two things. Is this data shown anywhere else? Let me show the example. Like we can share some profiles, right? That's why I actually created I had a profile that displays this. So this is a profile in like bing.com, and it's actually from our CI, and this is all the activity happening, and I like filtered the markers by writing GC, and this is all the GC markers that we have currently that's been filtered, and GC major is the marker that I have problems with, and you can see here, but I want to zoom into this GC area so we can see it in a better way. So I'm zooming in a bit to make these markers larger, and yeah, hopefully you'll see it more. So we have CC slides, like cycle collection, forget skippable, I don't know what that is actually. We have GC major, GC minor, GC slice, all garbage collection related stuff, and some more things that I'm not really familiar about. But like if you hover over them, actually we have a bunch of data, and then we have a description actually. So this description tells you a little bit about what this marker is about. So it says summary data for the core part of a cycle collection, possibly encompassing a set of incremental slices. The thread is not blocked for the entire major CC interval, only for the individual slices. Okay, that's interesting. You see that this actually doesn't block the main thread or the thread itself, but individual slices do block. And if you go down, you actually see like the CC slice, information for an individual CC slice. So this is actually blocking the thread, right? So if you're thinking about like improving performance, and if you see a lot of CC slices, I guess it is kind of an indication that, oh, maybe I'm allocating and deallocating a lot of stuff very quickly, and this is creating this CC slices, and I should try to avoid them if possible. But let's go back to GC ones, because we have GC minor. Let's start with that. So it has a description and some reasons too. And actually, look at this again. Oh, there's another like small minor annoyance that I have. Like, as you can see, the description field is at the bottom of this tooltip, but here in minor, it's at the top. I think it should be at the top on the CC as well. So this is something we can actually add to our list if we have time, or we can actually work on that or implement that in another session. So GC minor description, or no, not GC minor, sorry. Which one was that? CC marker description is at the bottom of the tooltip, so maybe we can fix that too. Yeah, like I was saying, GC minor says a minor GC, aka nursery collection, to clear out the buffer used for recent allocations and move surviving data to the tenured long-lived heap. And so this is for recent allocations, minor stuff. But then I guess the surviving data goes to the long-lived one, right? So probably GC major handles that part, right? So it has a description too. It says summary data for the entire major GC, encompassing a set of incremental slices. The main thread is not blocked for the entire major GC interval, only for the individual slices. This is again similar to CC. So we have individual slices too. Where are the slices? GC, let's see, slice. I don't see the individual slices for this actually. Are these? Yeah, these GC slices. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the entirety of this GC major actually doesn't block the main thread or the thread itself, but these slices that we have, they are actually blocking them. And it says one slice of an incremental garbage collection, the main thread is blocked during this time. So yeah, these GC slices actually do block the thread. But that's not important. So the problem or the annoying thing I was having, or I was seeing, was this: GC timings equals object. So where is this coming from? One, is this important to have? I want to decide if it is important or not. And two, I want to see if it's not important, we can just remove it, right? If it is important, we need to figure out a way to visualize this. So I expect this to come from the backend first. I'm going to take a look at the backend, and then I'm going to take a look at the front end also. Yeah, let's go on and let's go to Searchfox. So let me tell you a bit about the Searchfox too. So Searchfox is a website for Firefox source code and many other sources actually. Like it's more for Mozilla plus some extra repositories, but it's an amazing tool for you to like search the code inside Firefox or any Mozilla repositories. Like I can, for example, search GC major, and this will actually tell me exactly where this GC major marker is coming from, because this struct actually is the definition of that marker that we were seeing before. And like we have the name, we have the description, we have the payload fields, and like where to display it and things like that. So this is the whole definition, and we use this marker like here below. It's in a function that called profiler add marker, and it is actually adding the marker itself with the specific time in data and some information. So yeah, this is the marker. So I will look into that a little bit. But let me see if we have any questions, anything. I don't see any. Great. Is string working well? I don't see a lot of dropped frames. Oh, another question. Is the resolution good for you? Like, can you read this? I think that's the important part. I can zoom in a little bit more so it's more like bigger for you, but ideally, hopefully you will be able to see this. All right. Let's see. Okay, I think it's fine. So this is the definition of the marker, right? It's been a while. So this is the new marker API that we have. So previously we had a different API, but we added a second one that is more declarative. So we declare some fields, and that's being generated automatically. But we have also like Firefox source docs for this profiler. So this is Firefox source docs website is a website that includes all the documentation inside the Firefox codebase. And we have for Gecko Profiler too. And we have the where is that? Markers. So markers is probably we should rename this to C++ or native. C++ markers is more descriptive. So there is like information, and this is the new API. Previously we had an old one. I don't know, probably we removed that information from here. Yeah. You can probably see like if we search for this in Searchfox, you will be able to see, is this the old version? Yeah. this is the old API. It's also another struct, but it has like 3 main functions that handles like the naming, marker type name, how you serialize this, as well as how you display this in the front end. But that's been changed with this now. But we still use the old one in a bunch of places. We need to actually convert them into the new ones. All right, so let's remove this. So it's been a while since I touched any marker with the new struct types, so I need to remind myself that again. But yeah, this is descriptive, like name, description, that's fine. Yes, payload fields is what we are thinking. Oh, yeah, this is the GC timings, right? So if you look at the front end, see this GC timings name come from here. And this is the label, name, and type. So it's added as a string, but actually this is being added as a whole JSON property, like splice this JSON directly in without quoting. Yeah, so this actually creates the whole object when we are serializing this into the profile data. So it means that, and you can actually see the whole data. So this profile data is a JSON file. So you can like window that profile and it will give you the whole thing. But filtered markers is also another option. But now we added another way. I think when I click that, no, this one, we have selected marker now, which gives you the marker directly. So if you look at the data, you see timings only. Oh, I see. And inside the timings, we have a bunch of values and things like that. And I assume that these values or these values are being generated from these values. And because these are very old markers, we probably have a special handling for that. So let's go to the profiler code. Let's search for this. So this is the profiler code. Profiler lives in GitHub, Firefox Profiler. This is the code. You can also fork, you can contribute if you like. So the code is here, and I'm gonna search for GC major. We have a bunch of things. I think process profile should be it. Yeah, so the function is called process marker payload, and we iterate over a bunch of things. Like this is, for example, GC slice. We handle this, and this is GC major. Oops, this is the one I want. And we get the timings here, and if it's completed, we do something. If it's aborted, we do something else, and we shouldn't arrive here for the ideal case. Like we only have aborted and completed status, I assume. So yeah, we do some processing, right, for these markers. That's why we get the timings, we do stuff, but we do it for GC slice too. And we have the timings for GC slice too. Where, like, do we have? Yeah, we don't have this issue where we see GC timing that says colon, like object. So this is not an issue in GC slice. Why is it an issue in GC major? Let's look at the definition of GC slice 2. Marker. Yeah, here we go. So this is GC major, and this is GC slice struct, that the marker type that we add and this is the old marker marker API, and the other one, GC major, was actually the newer marker API. So this can be a regression actually, because let's see how we serialize the marker display. So this is the function that I care about. We had add static label. Yeah, we add the description. No display instructions here. There's no special there is a special handling in the front end. So we serialize the timings, but we specifically tell the front end not to display the timings. That's why actually GC slice works, but it fails on GC major, because I assume like this is a timings definition. We don't have a way to explain how to serialize this. The main thing that tells you is the type now. So we tell the front end to display it as a string. And double. Okay. So I assume that we need to change the new API to handle this hidden case, right? Because for some fields, we have a special handling and we want them to be hidden. But we want to still specify them because that makes them searchable, I think. So how to do that? Let's see, marker fields, how a payload fields. How do we have this? We have key, yeah, input type, label, format, and flags. Additionally, we have flags. So if you look at this, this is key, input type, label, and then we have a flags that is omitted here. Like the default value is none. And the flags is coming from here. It says it has none and searchable. Oh, by the way, we don't use the searchable anymore. We removed it from the front end, but we didn't from the back end yet. So this will happen soon too. I think, yeah, we need to probably have another enum value here, or enum case here that says hidden, and these are bit flags, I'm assuming, right? How do we, for example, use searchable? So these are things here. In here, yeah, we use them as bit flags, like we do like not logical, but with bitwise ends to determine if it's searchable or not. So we can add another flag here to make this make this hidden, and this is where we actually serialize the whole display add key label format type of things that are from the previous API. And yeah, you know what, we can. So I think if we go back to the initial questions, is this data shown anywhere? I think this data is directly shown in these. So we don't need the GC timings, right? That's why we want to just remove this instead. We just make this hidden. So I'm gonna explain this. It looks like, or we have a, what do I say? We have a special handling for the GC major markers that compute the display values out of the GC timings fields. So I think it's best to make this fields hidden in the backend, in the marker schema, so we don't show it, but it can still be used for computing the processed marker fields. Okay, let's put that. So this is one thing that I added. So let's make this hidden. Now let's get into the coding bits. Like, let's see how to do that. But I feel like I should also explain the bitwise operations and bit flags a little bit, because we're gonna be able to use, like, we're gonna be using them to actually like filter them out here. So if you look at the Firefox codebase, you'll see a lot of left shifts, like 3,288 number of results, and you see a lot of bit masks, bit flags, and things like that. For example, let's see one. This is an enum again that says CSS animation properties, and there can be like multiple properties, right? Like, it's not only a single value, but we want to be able to like easily filter or check if we have those properties or not. And the way we do this is with bit flags, because you can possibly do this with Boolean values, but first, like, Boolean actually values are a single byte, as opposed to this, because this one is probably like uint 32 or something, or integer, like 32 bits. It is actually bigger than 1 byte, it's like 4 bytes, right? But if you combine like 5, 10 of them, it actually becomes smaller, right? Like, because these are actually single bits of information, because there's like only on or off values for keyframe duration. We also have them in the profiler code base. Like here, like ETW marker groups, for example, like we only, there can be multiple of them at the same time, or these ones, we have like flags, and we see that it is actually 32 bits, and we just shift them. But how do we function? How do bit flags work? Let's explain that a little bit, maybe. Yeah, if you have any questions, if you have anything to say, let me know. I'm just gonna look through if we have any questions right now. No. So let me explain the bit flag or bit flags and bitwise operators a little bit, because we are gonna need that. So I guess we have this. Let's say we have 8 bits, because like otherwise 32 bits is gonna be too much to write. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oof. Let's make this. So let's say that we have, this is this. No, how do I do this directly? Yeah. Bit values or binary values, and we have decimal values, right? So we have the decimal and binary, and the decimal values is gonna be like 0, right? So the 0 is represented as this in 8-bit, right? So it is this, and if you add 1, it's gonna be the representation, like it starts from the right, so it's gonna be like this, and the 2 will be binary representation will be 0, 1. And it goes like this. You get the idea, but I think like let's write it until 4 to make it more obvious, so I can show things. Oops, not 4. Yeah, and copy paste that into here, and that's gonna be 1, 0, 0, 0. Oof, no. So these are the binary values, right? And let's move them a bit left. So let's see if there's any question. So bitwise operators, how do they work? Right, so because every single bit is a Boolean value, basically. So 0 is false, 1 is true. And how do you operate with that? So when you're actually like adding a new value to it, you do bitwise OR, and when you not like that, so bitwise OR to add values, bitwise AND to check values mostly. So I'm not gonna get into the details of like flipping them and other things, but this is how things work. For example, I want to make this value flipped, right? Like positive, like true. To be able to do that, I take this, and then yeah, let's say that this was 0 initially, and then I do bitwise OR, which means that the result is going to be like, so this is like bitwise OR, and the result will be this, because 0 and 0 is always 0, 0 or 1 is 1, and the rest is 0. So actually we flipped that switch into true now. So this is how it works, but for bitwise AND is used to determine if we have this flag set. So we use that, for example, to check we end them. So what happens when you end 0 and 0? It becomes 0, and if you do like if it's true and true, so this is gonna be 1. So now we end it, and oh, this is a positive value. Let's say that I check this for this flag instead, and this will actually result in 0, because 0 logical AND with 1 is 0 always. So it will result in 0, which means false. So we can check this is like, or I guess this is AND, right? So this is how it works. Like we, instead of like using binary values for each flags, we just use an integer value with 8 bits, 32 bits, 64 bits, depending on your needs. And then we actually compress those into a single value. So it's easier for you to like, store one, because it's like less storage. And it's also, yeah, it's faster, or not faster, but it's easier. So I think the biggest positive side is that it helps you reduce the size of that structure. So I guess this is all the binary values and things like that. So we need to do some bitwise operations, some bit flags. Let's see. Nope. Please no ads in the chat. Great. All right. So let's go back to code that I have. Actually, we can see how this has been represented. Like, probably this is inside a where is that? Here, this value, it belongs to a class. And super nice thing of Searchbox is that there is a super like convenient way to see the layout of the class by just clicking on the class itself and then like click on class layout of this profile and stack frame, and then boom, you actually see the binary representation of that class. It is super handy because now I can see like this is an atomic char string, and I can see the alignment, so it's 8-bit alignment, 8-byte alignment, and oops, and I can see the sizes of this. So 8 bytes is for this, and this is the flag, right? Like flag that I was mentioning, and it's 4 bytes. But if you like go that and you see, oh no, not this, but where's the enum of this? I guess the flags. These are the flags. So I look at this. Like that's a huge enum. So in 4 bytes, I convey all those, or I contain all those bit flags. So it's just super handy, right? Like instead of spending like 1 byte for each of them, I just use 4 bytes for all of them. So that's super handy. And yeah, let's go and implement this now, right? So I use this. So I'm using another desktop actually so I SSH into it, and then yeah, I work on there usually. So I'm gonna open that up, the terminal on the right side. Let's see if you can see my screen easily. Maybe I should just increase that one more. Yeah, this is probably better. So where is this again that I saw? Ooh, I derailed a lot, I think, so I need to find it again. This is GC slice. I want GC major. I assume this is in the same file. And this is, yeah, cycle collected JS runtime.cpp. So this is the file and GC major marker. Here we go. So this is the marker. So let me just switch to another branch, JS GC major. Say that. And so this is name, description. This is the timings. So I want to make this hidden, right? I think for that I need to add another flag for this, like bit flag, and I need to check that. We're gonna remove this eventually, but we don't have to think about it now since this is all Firefox internal. We don't, like, it doesn't change the JSON structure, so it's fine to change this whenever we want. But let's do this like hidden. It's gonna be 2, but I would like to use the shift operators. I didn't explain the shift, I think. So shift, this is again bitwise shift. So basically, let's say that we have 1, and I do this, shift by 1, right? So it means that shift this number 1 by 1. What it does is that we get the number, so we get the number, but we shift this 1 or whichever numbers that we have to the left. So this is the one that's here is shifted into left. So now what is this? The second value, it became 2. So if you shift those like all 1, so if we don't shift, it's 1. If we shift it once, it becomes 2. If we shift it twice, it's 4, 8, 16, 32. I guess you get the idea, right? Like this is all powers of 2 that we are having. So these numbers are being used for our bit flags. Yeah, let's go back. So we have hidden. I'm gonna reformat this. So, but I want to also make this bit flag to make sure that. So this is, what was this again? Let's do it here. 1. So this is correct. And what is this? It is going to be 2. Exactly. So I guess, I don't know if probably we don't need to add the add. Let's see, any questions, anything? It's been like, we're nearly in 1 hour mark actually, and we're still on the first one. I was a bit ambitious maybe with 3 to-dos for today, but I derailed myself a lot, but I think it's good to like explain some things on the go. So this is what we have right now, right? So we added this hidden property. I'm gonna build this quickly again. I like to build things on the go. And yeah, so now we're done. And second thing I need to do is I need to add the flag here, right? So I have ms was it payload field? Payload flags. I guess this is directly like in ms column payload flags. Yeah. Okay, so let's go back to the first one. So payload flags, and then we have hidden now. Why is that error in cannot initialize a member our value? What? It should be fine. How do I use that here? Oh, I need format. Because format is default to string 2 apparently, so I need to specify this too, because like we cannot really, yeah, these are both, label is also added, right? So yeah, we have the label, but we don't have the format. So format is going to be whatever we have. Like we don't need to oh, maybe format can be null actually, or hidden. Which formats do we have? URL, file path, string, duration, decimal. One, I think it's good to add here like a JSON or something. Oh, why is it rebuilding the world? I don't know. Yeah, so I think currently it was defaulted to string, so I'm gonna keep that. I think it's fine to leave it like this and then add a hidden flag instead. So this is what I have. And what else? Can you see my chart? No, some more ads coming. Just gonna. I will just. Well, yo, this one is. Gamerpad. It says let's hang out in Discord, but yeah, thank you, but I don't. Yeah, I don't have the Discord open right now, so maybe yeah, another time, next session. Thank you for the follow. I can see your chat, but I didn't read it beforehand. I just saw your chat. Great. Let me ban this previous ad actually. How do I do that? Ooh, I'm quite new, but right, I banned this person from before. All right, now we had this hitting. I don't know why it's failing to compile right now. Let's check. Cannot initialize a member. Yeah, that was the issue first. Now that's fixed. I think it should be able to compile in. Yeah, so next thing, we added the hidden, but we just added it and we didn't really touch, or we didn't really tell the API, the marker API, how to handle the value, right? So we need to handle that. And I'm gonna use this search fox again to see where we handle the searchable field, because we've seen that a bit before here. So I'm gonna get this. Is this base profiler, or do we have this in normal profiler? No, I don't think so. Okay, so, oops, no. I want this file. Let's navigate here. And then we search for searchable. Yeah. Oh, we were here already. Searchable. What is that? Yeah, this is from the previous API. Here we go. So this is marker type display. And this is the base type. And what we need to do. So if there is a label, else add key format. Wait a second. Oh, we don't really need the, what was add key format searchable do? I forgot all these. Maybe let's try it. Maybe we don't need the hidden one actually. Let's try this one, and can we pass like null pointer to this? Yes. Okay, let's put null pointer instead, or just remove it and it will default to null pointer, right? And I think then this might actually work. Add key format, searchable. But so I want to run this. Since this is in a different desktop, oops, I will just get this. So, all right, so this is my other computer. Let me do this. Where are we? Okay, Mac run. So we run the new Firefox that we built. Let's enable the Firefox. Okay, so now we do this google.com capture, but did I build it? Actually, let's check. So I removed this, let's build this again. So yeah, if we omit the label, maybe that's actually enough. Oh, no, that's not enough. Ugh, I remembered now. It's actually gonna use the same, like this timings now instead. So let's try that to just see. Oh, no, this is gone. Let's restart this. Don't show again. So let's navigate to Google, remove Gmail. Let's just do some random stuff that might trigger some GC English, and then capture. And let's check for, yes, we have one GC major. And like I said, yeah, it added the timing still, but it's using the same value as this now. So this is not the thing I want. Let's see. So I keep that. Where were we? So I remove this. Yeah, we need the hidden field after all. So I added the hidden. Now I need to check that in here, searchable. Here we go. So we have label, but above that, I think I need this. Oof. Oh no. My ghosty, my terminal actually just stopped working at this time. That's strange. Oof. Streaming issues. My whole terminal. I don't want to. I think it's sometimes related to Windows app, like the RDP that I have. Let me turn this off. Right, we're back. Yeah, this is weird, but so now we need to do this. So we have field.flags, right? But we need to convert this into uint32, 32t. Where is that? Converted it, and then we need to check with bitwise and operator, and we need to do the same thing, like ms payload field hidden, or payload flags, not field flags, hidden. Oops, no. Let's keep it this way and continue. If we have hidden, we just simply continue, skip that. We don't add any key label searchable or key format searchable. And the good thing is, since searchable flag is not really used, or key format, yeah, searchable is not being used anymore. We just, don't need to add anything, basically. Let's do that. Let's build this again. And let's check if we actually fixed it. And let's see if you have anything, you wrote anything in the meantime. I think format string is fine for now, but we should really add a GC major timings in the future. And then we can upgrade string to it later for GC major markers only, and then remove hidden. Yeah, we should really add a major timings in the future. We can do that, but yes, for now, the problem, the biggest problem is that everything related to this timing handling happens in front end. It's like a special handling, right? Like this happens in this during profile upgrading period. But we should actually, ideally, we should really send this data to the front end with this handled, like this fixed. Yeah, for now this should work. But the good thing is that this hidden flag can be used in other markers too. It's not only for GC major, but yeah, we now have other, I think we do have some other use cases, like GC slice, right? Like GC slice, no, I can't type sometimes. So GC slice is still using the old API, yeah, what am I doing? Marker. So yeah, this is using the old API and there's no display value of it. So if we were to convert that into the new API, then we would need the hidden too. But again, this is the same timing. So like this is the special case where we can actually fix too. Yeah, okay. Now let's look at the build. It's building. I don't know. I think it's because we are actually changing something in this header file, which is included in a lot of places, and it basically makes us rebuild the whole Firefox, or like half of it at least. So, oh no, I can't run it here. Let's go back there. Oh no, it's, I don't know, when I do full screen, I don't know if you can see it, but All right. Now let's try it again with the new fresh Firefox build. Start new session. So I start the profiler. I go to, let's try Wikipedia now. I don't know if that's gonna work. Oh yeah, not super great news. Yeah, let's do some things. And then let me just go to Google too, just to make sure. Some GC stuff happening. Now I captured the profile. GC major. We don't have. Here we go. Now it is gone. Like, yeah, now this is fixed. Yeah, I think that makes sense now. I don't know if we have any tests for this. Mac G-test, like let's try it here. Mac G-test, not this, Mac G-test, Jacob Profiler. Let's try to run G-tests to see if we actually have something there. In the meantime, I can get some questions. Yeah, now that I'm thinking about this type, like type string, right? I think it is really good to have like, we have like a string right now, or oh, not here. So we have string. I think it's good to have like a object that we can hold. I don't know if we have one already. No, and this object can be like either JS object maybe, and that can actually, we have clean error. Filter record metric. Whew. I think this is another Glean issue that we have, which is unrelated to this, but yeah, it seems like tests are passing, and since this is such a small addition, I don't think it's worth adding a test. Or maybe for hidden. Let's see if we have like tests for searchable. I'm just gonna search in Searchbox, which is easy. So I'm gonna do this, search for searchable and search for tests. Nope. Maybe payload fields test, no. Yeah, it's good to add some tests for this. I don't really have, or we don't really have one. Yeah, let me just add this. Okay. So let's commit this and send it, right? I don't think we need this, do we? The LSP sometimes like add some random things that usually we don't really need. Let's try that again and show diff. Okay, so these are the things that we've added. So this can be split into two. This part is for adding this hidden feature, hidden flag, and then this is for actually making it hidden, which are like small patches, small commits. But I like to split things into multiple ones, or like more self-contained commits. Our build is still running. So I want to add this one, don't add this one. All right, so commit. Oh, okay, bug, what's the bug name? Bug number, this one, right? Bug number is this, and we say add a new payload flags for hidden properties, hidden marker payload properties, and I'm gonna see Florian for the review. All right. And yeah, let's add this part. Same ID is going to be that. So bug this, make the GC major timings field hidden, and this is gonna be Florian too. So in case you're curious, this is the commit style that we use inside Firefox. So first we add the bug number, and then dash, and then we describe the issue, or and you can add more stuff here if you like. But then at the end of this first line, we add our question mark to specify who we are asking the review from. So this is the reviewer review request basically. And that's done. And let's take a look. I think that's fine. The build is still ongoing actually. But I think it is built now. Yep. And let me lint this before, just in case. Yeah, there's no lint warnings. All right, we're good to go. Now we can submit this. Yes. We can check the, where is this? Let's check the bug as well. Yep, the patches are coming here. Yep. So we use Bugzilla for Firefox, and for the patches we use Fabricator. So as you can see, now it automatically selected Florian for the review, and you can see the stack here for add a new payload flags. Now I read it again. I want to change it actually. Yeah, let's change this. Oops, not this. Rename this. Enum value for hidden marker payload properties. I think that's better. Let me submit that again. All right. And any questions? Anything so far? How's it going? Also, like, do you enjoy it, or yeah, I don't know if I skip some parts, I don't explain everything, or maybe I'm getting into too many details. So let me know how it goes. For you, of course. So yeah, this is the thing. So this is 0 hidden. Let's make sure that, like, let's do self-review to make sure that we're not making any mistakes. So you end flags. All right. Yep. Did I submit this? No. Yeah, for like we use GitHub for Firefox codebase right now. This one, the Firefox lives in GitHub, but we don't send pull requests through GitHub directly. That's why we use a tool called mozfab, and then we submit it through that. So this uses our own system to send patches to Fabricator. All right. This is done too, right? So this is timings. Yeah, I'm not super happy about this really, but I guess that's fine. At least it fixes the problem. So I would just mark it as done for now. That's another, like, tomorrow's problem. That's another great thing to say, but yeah. And another thing I wanted to fix was this description, right? I don't know where that happens, because it can be in the front end, like GC timings. This is at the top, right? Description, GC major. Here, why is it at the bottom? CC. Let's look at the CC marker. Marker maybe, I guess. Is it called this? No. CC. Marker. make it regex profiler. Where is that? I think the best way to search is this. Still lots of stuff. Profiler and case sensitive and CPP maybe. What the hell? Oh, here. All right, found it. CC interval marker. That's why I couldn't find it. I should have found it. So we have the description here, right? And maybe that's added at the last. So this is where we serialize this. Let's search for description. Yes, so this is at the end. If we move this at the top, like before this, I think that will work. Let's try that. Yeah, I don't think we have a bug filed for this. No. This description. Here we go. Let's remove this and oops, no, not here. Yeah, I want to put it here. Let's build. Not build. Again, it's gonna take a while to build. If I do this, because like all the add key label formats, like we add the payload fields here, and then we add the description, but ideally description should be at the top instead. So that way we can actually see things see the descriptions at first, like this, and not like this. So that's another small thing. Let's file a bug for this first. New bug in Gecko Profiler component. Description label field should be at the top of the marker fields instead of at the bottom in the new marker API. I'm just gonna add this here. Currently we don't have currently they are serialized after we serialize the normal payloads, and I can put a link to this Firefox query so people can actually see the history. Yep. So this is a defect, not super like a defect. So let's make it priority 3. Not, it's not something important, and then submit. Okay. So far so good. We're working on some small things, so not that. All right, so let's see if it's built now. We have this. I'm gonna create a new branch actually for this because I don't want them to live in the same place, but first let this build. So if I change, like switch branches and then I remove the other commits, then I will need to rebuild everything again. So yeah, let's let this build first. Great, it's done. And let's check it, right? Oh, no. What am I doing? Yeah. Oh. All right. So now what I want to do is check this. Start new session. Let's go with Google again. And we should take a look at the CC markers this time. GCCC, I don't see any here. I don't see any here either. Maybe in the parent, yep. Ooh, it's still at the bottom. That is interesting. So it didn't actually fix it. Then let's take a look at the file, the JSON representation of it. A profile, or yeah, let's do it. Selected marker. We don't have one yet. Let's select it, and then get this data. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong place. Profile marker schema. Profile meta marker. Yeah, here we should see CC. It's not CC. This one. Okay, we have description, and then we have show display fields. That's strange. Do we have a custom? So let's switch to front end and see how we actually serialize this. Where this is not the snap, Gecko profile types. Oh, sorry. This is what we have. Category, so this is not the one. Marker schema, we have this. Timeline markers, CC. Where do we actually it seems like we don't have a special handling for that. But it does have. Let's check. Here, not really. All right, so, I'm confused. I thought we description is only here, right? I thought description was actually passed in Okay, maybe it's changed since I looked at it, because description. Okay, so description, is this capitalized or let's check that. No, description is like this, and I'm gonna search that. Description, dot description, do we have? Tooltip marker. Yes. This is where we have, oops, yeah, let's oh, here we go. So this loop is where we push all the things, but actually, so it turns out this is a backend issue, a front-end issue. Because wait, this is schema. Yeah, we get this. Or not schema, it needs to be there. So here, yeah. So we check for schema, and then do we have this started? Yeah. All right. So if I change the path to this, I will have it fixed. Okay, it turns out this was a front-end issue rather than the back-end issue. So now they always appear at the top. Since the front-end lives in GitHub, so the front-end is here, like I said before. So, and we send pull requests to this. So I need to send a pull request for this instead. Yeah, checkout to what should I say? Schema description. yeah, gcommit, and display the description or marker description in the marker at the top inside the marker tooltip. All right, so this is that. Okay, so now we can actually push. Oh, I don't know if that's gonna break some tests. It does. But we're just gonna, yeah, that's good. It grades that actually it breaks some tests, so I don't have to write a test for it. I just update the test itself and I'm good to go. Yep, that is the snapshot test that we have. And I'm gonna append this. I have an oops command for appending or updating the last commit. Yeah, okay, that's great. And now we can push this to send a pull request. Oh, what else failed? Yarn lint fail. Prettier fix. What was that about? It didn't do anything. Maybe I had some SVGs. That's why it failed. Changed. This, I should have searched like. We don't have. Never mind. Well, yeah, never mind. So maybe that's why it failed. But we can push now. And we managed to push. And then let's copy the URL. Let's do this. Previously, they were displayed. Previously, the description field was displayed from marker schema. Yeah, it was displayed at the bottom of the marker fields inside the marker tooltips. This PR changes moves this field to the top instead. Before, after. I like to include some screenshots as well as some links to the profiles. So let's zoom in by double clicking this marker, and then we have this already. So I'm just gonna put a link as well. So deploy preview production is this, and deploy preview will be added later. And so we're gonna do like put this, like take a screenshot, and let's go back to non-local host version and put another screenshot, and I can just put them here. So this is before. Let me just do that again actually. Yeah. So now it is fixed. Right? Yes. Don't mind the difference between the image sizes, but at least this is what it looks like. I don't want to spend a lot of time on that. I'm going to ask for a review from Marcus, and I should have added one space after this, actually. Let me add that. One empty line. No, verify for now. I know that it's gonna pass, so I did that and create pull request. And what I usually do, I also add a deploy preview link. So for this is going to be like edit, paste that, but the URL, the first URL, this part will be different. I will get the, I usually get the deploy preview links from here. So perfect. This one with different ID. Yep. So now we have different links to deploy previews. And this should work. Sorry, I'm just gonna mute myself for a bit. All right. I should have taken some like water with me actually, now that I need some. So for the next one, that's another reminder. All right. That is fixed too, right? I had two more things, but I don't think I have the energy to work on them right now. Or probably the first one is small actually. Let me think about that. All right, let's go to the other one. So we already created two patches in the backend, one PR in the front end. And those are very small things, but they actually like improve the user experience. Like they're polishing stuff, but they are still important. What else? I think let's look at that. Oops, let's look at that now. So this is another bug where I filed a long while ago. It says currently image paint markers are added as text markers. So let me show you some image paint markers. Maybe we can find it in this profile. But not here, maybe in the parent. Oh, no. Oh, because we are zoomed in. What? This shows empty, but how? What's happening here? That's weird. Maybe they are added. I don't know. Oh, because it was still selected. That's why I was confused. So let's search for image paint. So these are the image paint markers that we have. And let's zoom in because they're quite small actually. For example, this one. It has some details, and these details mention the URL of that image. So for example, for this one, it's like a SVG because we're in the parent process. But if you go up to the child process where the website actually like gets them, like fetches them, SVGs or data images like this one can be quite large. And if there are like multiple images or the same multiple images with the same URL, then it actually makes the profile JSON that we have quite busy. So yeah. Do you have any questions? I'm just gonna check the messages in a bit. Pop, pop. Let's see. Yeah. All right, everything seems to be normal. Yes, if you have any questions, please let me know. And if you have any notes, any comments. I think I'm just gonna finish this one and leave the third one to the next session. But like you said, like you see, the details is the image itself, image URL itself, and that's large, and we should really ideally have a different marker type for this. Okay. And with the different marker type, so this is the place you can see image paint, and this is added as a text marker and not a custom marker, but we should create a custom marker. So it's been a while since I created a custom marker, but let's do it. Where are we? Image/image.h. Let's go back to the profiler. So I'm gonna undo this change because apparently that was incorrect, right? And I'm just gonna change to, what's that, image paint marker. And then let's start building so it does its own thing in the meantime. Let's remove this. Yeah. All right, let me zoom into here. And we were image.h, image header, and image, what was the image paint? So this is the marker that we have. And we already have a class actually, image profiler paint marker, but this is like an RAII function or RAII class. So we still need to add another struct ideally. And what I usually do, I either copy and paste it from other structs, or I go to the documentation. So let's check Gecko profiler and markers. We have documentation with lots of comments added. But yeah, let's do this. Why not? I can remove the comments. It can be useful for the stream too. So we have the first marker type name. So we add this is gonna be image paint, right? But first, let's change the marker struct name as well. Image paint marker, and this is gonna be also the same, image paint marker. So and the name is image paint. Remove. So this is going to be description. So currently we don't have any description. That's why I will just omit this, right? Because like the base type already has null pointer, and we check for that later. So I'm just gonna remove the description. We don't need it because the current one doesn't have either. So ideally it could be nice to explain it, but it's kind of self-explanatory already. And payload fields and location. So I assume whatever the profile meta marker schema, so whatever the text marker is doing, I will do the same thing. And let me check for that actually. Marker here, this one. So see the description is null pointer 2 already. Store name, what's this? I don't remember. Store name. Or let's do this. Do we have an explanation? We only have it for text markers. Static metadata. I don't think we need that. Like, it's only in markers. Oh no, not really. We definitely need some documentation for this. Static. This is all ETW stuff, I think. Descriptor count. So, okay, since I want to keep it the same, but what's the... Oh, we already have. This indicates whether this marker type wants the names passed to the individual marker calls stored along with the marker. Okay. Apparently it was true for text, so I'm gonna do the same for this. Yeah, let's copy and paste this. Oh no. All right. And payload fields. So this is going to be URL, I think, or what? How do we say here? It's called URI maybe, but I think URL is fine. URI is probably more correct, but yeah, never mind. So we can see what input types we have. So it's gonna be string, right? And this is gonna, sorry, this is the key. So it's all lowercase, and then we have URL here, and the format itself is gonna be URL because we want them to be sanitized. URL, yes. And so for these ones, location, they're in timeline overview too. No, this is not. This is the, I want to see the text marker. Here we go. Yes, marker chart, marker table. I want them in only those places. Chart label, let's keep the label 2. Let's remove the comments because, yeah, I don't need them. Chart label is added already, right? Yeah, and let's add table label too. So data, market data name. Oh no, not really actually. This is data.url, that's gonna be, and market name data, this is gonna be URL. So we are we're specifying how to concatenate or show the information in either marker chart, like here, or marker table. So like you see, let me remove this, we have some details area. So like we can concatenate things, like marker.name is this, and marker.data.url is this. So we are concatenating both of them into a single one. And this is true. Do we need, I think we can copy and paste this from the text as well, but we need to change it too. So this is not going to be text, this is going to be a URL, and this is going to be URL too. So name, did I leave any name? Yeah, that's fine. All right, so we created our own, our own marker type for this image paint. Let's see if it's gonna be, it's gonna compile. I'm gonna check the code quickly. So now that we created the marker, we need to use it, right? So we are using this. What we are gonna do is like, we're gonna change it to marker, So these APIs are all documented in here. Like we have text, but if you remove this, so this is the API we use to send it with different payloads. So first we have the marker name, we have the category of the marker, which is graphics. We have the marker timing, or we can add more information, and then the payload itself. But now I want to mention that this is an image, what was the name? Image paint marker. And then I send the payloads, which is the spec, right? Spec. I think that was correct. Yeah. Build again. Let's see if it's oh, I forgot to remove the text again. Yeah. Let's see if that's gonna work. We need namespace. Boom. All right, I think that should work. Oof, what's happening? What did I change something by mistake? No. Let's build again. I think maybe we need to change, like move it outside, because right now we're in a different namespace. So maybe put it outside. How do we do this? Let's check the other places. Yeah, it's outside. And let's add this here. So the namespace is here, or we can maybe move this outside somewhere else. But for now, I think it's fine to leave it like that. And yeah, it built. And I assume that we're using this correctly. Yeah, so now let's check this in here. Oof, I always type incorrectly now. Come on. All right. Now let's do that. So start new session, and let's try this one. For example, we have some images. I assume that they will be visible. Image paint. Yes. Now we have URLs. They're also linked now, so you can actually click on them. And yeah, you can see that this is the image. And also we sanitize them properly. So that's a bigger win, actually. Do we have like in the parent process? Yeah, we have a bunch of Chrome URLs. Sounds great. Now we actually fix this too. Oh, let me check. Oh, I should have checked the marker or the labels. So image paint. So here the tooltip itself looks fine, right? But marker table, image paint, details. Okay, so what was that I sent? previously, how were they looked? Yeah, they're the same. And here we have chart label. So if you zoom in enough, you will be able to actually see the chart. Like actually, we should remove this actually, now that I'm thinking. Yeah, probably we have an upgrader or like a processing step where we remove it, because inside the where was it? I think, yeah, we don't need it, right? Like here we already have the name, so we don't need the name on the right side again. And for the chart label, I can show you, like if you zoom in enough, oops, like you can actually, if they're larger, can I just zoom in here? No, I couldn't, wait. And let's double click. Yeah, you can see that the label, there's a text here if it's big enough. Yep, that's it. So I need to, so it's been two hours, I think, right? Yeah. I will stop the stream here after committing this, and I will send it later because I want to still check the code before sending it, because I have another meeting in 30 minutes, so I need to go there. But let's do this bug. What's the name? Here, this one. Store, create a new type for, new marker type for image paint markers, and make them oh, I forgot the biggest thing, like the whole point of this item, like we need to save them as unique strings. Actually, I forgot that. All right, so like here, let's go back. So the whole thing is that we can, so string property just serializes that as string, right? But there is another property or function called unique. Unique, no, I can't type. String, it should be unique either here, or I can see, wait, let's check, let's go back. Yeah, it should be here, or let's check that, unique. Yep, here. So we have the unique string property function where we write it as a unique string. What that means is we actually, instead of serializing directly a string and multiplying them for every marker, we're actually putting it in a string table, and the string table is like the unique version of strings. Like if there are so many like repeating strings, we put them there, and that way they are not being duplicated. They are included once, and we use the index to that string in other places as a reference. Yeah, then we can really change that, and that's actually it. Let's build again. So I'm gonna copy this so I can use it. Build, and then I'm gonna commit at the same time. Create a new marker type for paint markers and make their URLs unique strings. Sorry. That's it. So we can check that again quickly. We start the profiler, we stop the profiler. And now if you inspect it, or why am I inspecting? Yeah, we can inspect it first, but image paint. So you see like, oh, shoot. Because of the format. Oh no, okay. That will actually require some more changes. Because we have only unique string, but we don't have a unique string, the sanitized version of unique string anymore, or unique URL. I would like to have like a URL where I can do that, but no, apparently this is not possible. So, okay, so I'm gonna stop this for now, and in the next session, then we're gonna create a unique string for URLs that can be sanitized. So this is going to be our next step, because we mark them as a unique string inside the serialization, but in here we don't actually show that, like we don't actually tell that it's possible to display this format. So this will require changes both in the front end and in the back end. That's why it's gonna take more than 10 minutes, so I will leave that to the next one. So I will commit this, bug, no, just to do create a unique, create a new type for the unique strings that can be sanitized. Yeah, that's the next step. Then, I guess that's it for today, right? So we've done, sorry. So we've done lots of code reading and understanding, and a bit of writing some code and pushing some comments. But I think it was a good start, and hopefully it can be useful for you. And I will try to publish this video in YouTube as well. And hopefully that will be the first of many episodes of this idle callback. So yeah, thanks a lot, and bye.